Hello, I wanted to hop on here and talk about how to stock up your pantry for success while we're in this quarantine period and a lot of grocery stores might not have everything we want. I want to talk about how to stock up your pantry and your freezer for success even while detoxing. So I feel like I'm kind of a pro at this. We've been eating plant-based for years now, mostly plant-based. We do eat some meat, but I honestly feel like I could make any of this is one of our cookbooks for our reboot, and I feel like I could make 90% of the recipes at any moment, even if I haven't grocery shopped, because my pantry's stocked. And that's one of the keys. This is one of my favorite cookbooks from a while ago, but she really talks through how to stock your pantry. And so I want to talk about that. So there's a chapter in here. This is a great book, but I also just love all of our materials. So I want to talk about how to stock up on non-perishables, and I'll kind of go through the categories. So grains, beans, what frozen items I recommend, what non-dairy milks I recommend, what I recommend for sweeteners, for natural sweeteners, for fats, herbs and spices, nuts and seeds, and what soy products I recommend. So I'll walk through each of those, and then I have a few other tips as well, like shopping local. A lot of our local grocery stores are not as they haven't been as overwhelmed. People aren't stockpiling as much, so it's a great way to support local. Or if there's farmers markets in your area, that's a great suggestion. Another tip is making sure buying as much fresh things as possible, but I'm going to talk about how to also buy the non-perishables as well. Make sure you wash them when you get home, and also avoid buying any snacky foods that you're going to consume probably quickly during quarantine. All right, so the first category is grains. Like if you're doing the detox with us and doing the gluten-free guideline, which I am, for noodles, I like to stick to gluten-free. There's a lot that are naturally gluten-free, so these are naturally gluten-free because they're rice noodles. I will say noodles are a little hit or miss in terms of which ones are tasty that are gluten-free, but there are a lot of really great options out there. I love a lot of the ones at Trader Joe's personally. The rice ones or chickpea noodles. The next thing is you'll want to stock up on is rice, and we like to do a mixture of brown because it's healthier, it has more nutrients, and white. And for white we usually do basmati or jasmine. And we've been making a lot of rice, and we just use our Instapot, or we have a rice cooker too. Usually like to do a half and half. Or another alternative for rice is cauliflower rice. I had this, I just made some recently. So we also buy this frozen. You can buy it in bulk at Costco. There's a really good recipe in here for how to make it. A little bit browned, put a little garlic in there and saute it. Really good. Great alternative for rice for curries if you want a little bit less carbs and to just add another plant into your diet and routine. So the next staple is quinoa, which is a nice grain to stock up on. It's naturally gluten-free, and oatmeal. I have oatmeal here. You can blend this up and turn it into a flour if you're baking breads. We also make a ton of protein balls in our family. It's our favorite healthy treat. And so another thing I definitely recommend stocking up on is our protein powder. We use it for our protein balls and also our smoothies. And it has 15 plants in it. And it's naturally gluten-free, dairy-free, and it just adds a little bit more substance and flavor in terms of protein and fiber, and just getting more nutrition to keep you full. So that's kind of the grains that I recommend there. For beans, definitely stock up on beans. Black beans are great for salads or soups. And there's dried beans and there's canned beans. And if you can, I recommend the dried. They're really inexpensive, but the downside is that you do have to soak them overnight, with the exception of lentils, I believe, and then make sure you drain that water. But that is a little bit more time consuming, so canned are also really nice to have on hand. So that's what I'd recommend for beans, stocking up there, get as much as you can. Okay, for frozen, I should show you my freezer, but it's embarrassing. Maybe I will though. But so our freezer is like packed. Let me see if I can even flip this. I don't even know how to flip this. Okay, I don't know how to do it on this one. But okay, if you can see, my freezer is like packed to the brim, and we have two freezers. So I'll tell you like what we do in terms of stocking up our freezer. We buy tons and tons and tons of frozen fruit. So berries are really high in antioxidants. We do a lot of tropical fruit too. And then we can always make a smoothie. No matter if we haven't grocery shopped, we always are able to make a smoothie. And so that's where this protein powder comes really in handy, because we use it always in our smoothies. I actually triple up, so I do 3 scoops, and I make a big smoothie for me and my family. One sec, buds. Another trick that I learned when I got on this journey is peeling bananas and having them for smoothies and freeze them. So that's a great trick. Just stockpile. I buy tons of bananas, and once they start to get too ripe, I freeze them. And then also, speaking for smoothies, I also do that with greens. So I buy a bunch of greens, and if they're starting to look like maybe not fresh enough for a salad, I freeze them and put them in my smoothies. We also go through like seriously so much broccoli as a family. So we love this organic frozen broccoli. I think it really cooks really well. We used to steam it, but now we roast it. One sec, buds, okay? I'll help you in one sec. So that's what we recommend for frozen items, just buying tons of frozen fruit, frozen vegetables, also peeling your own bananas, freezing them yourself, also freezing your own greens. And then for meat, we do stock up on salmon fillets, chicken breasts, ground turkey as well. So we have that on hand for recipes. That's the meats that I recommend getting for frozen. All right, next category is non-dairy alternatives. We are huge. Buddy, I'll help you in one.
Can we go to the park today again?
Maybe for a walk later, okay?
Because Daddy said we could maybe.
Okay, one sec, okay? Sorry, guys. Sorry, my 3 kids here, and my husband works in the ER, so he's worked overnight, and so trying to do this video to share this all with you quick. So, yeah, so almond milk is our favorite. I definitely recommend buying organic if you can. We weren't able to get it this time, but organic and unsweetened, so there's no extra added sugars, is huge. We buy this in like the box full at Costco. Right now I've been doing kind of half and half for my shakes, half water, half this, to just kind of conserve it, because we haven't been going to the store as frequently, but love this. Another alternative to non-dairy milk that you can buy, if you buy raw, so not roasted, so no added extra oils, cashews, this is like a vegan stream in terms of adding more plants. You can soak it. You can soak it and make cream-based soups, or even cheeses, or even just put a bunch more water in it. And if you soak it overnight and blend it, you can make a cashew milk as well, and a really creamy one as well. You can also use coconut milk, and that's something I recommend buying canned. So would highly recommend that as well. Okay, next category, herbs and spices. Definitely recommend buying as many as you can. Garlic, salt is we love and we use all the time. Paprika. I love using rosemary with potatoes. That's another grain in that category that we've been using a lot of. What else? I love rosemary. Yeah, just buying as much as you can. And also, I'd also recommend buying a bouillon. This is a chicken one. If you can find a vegetable one, that would be ideal, but this is really great to have on hand for cooking. Next thing, sweeteners. So we want to avoid artificial sweeteners as much as possible. So here are some alternatives to if you need to add sweeteners. Obviously, we want to minimize these, even the natural ones. But my recommendations are dates, which you can buy fresh usually in the produce section. You can blend them and put them in smoothies. You can put them in protein balls. Really great to have on hand. Another thing we always have on hand is this maple syrup. Make sure you buy 100% pure. This is a really great natural source of sweetness. So we use it for our protein balls and any desserts. That's great to have on hand, as is blackstrap molasses, which is really high in iron. Coconut sugar is a great one too. And then for another dessert, we usually end up just making a dessert smoothie, but these are my favorite chocolate chip recommendations. They're allergen free, they're gluten free, dairy free. There's no added ingredients or thickeners or anything. They're just pure dark chocolate and they taste really good. For fats, I recommend definitely getting a coconut oil. There's refined and unrefined, and also a good olive oil. And we've been using avocado oil a lot. Actually, when we've been putting our broccoli on broil and we roast it, it's so delicious. Definitely recommend this avocado oil. What else? Chia seeds are really high in omega-3s. Add them to smoothies. They're a great thing to add. Or protein balls, really great thing to add for extra nutrition. Cashews, I already mentioned, for creamy, making a soup something creamy, or something you can make cheese out of it. Raw almonds are great. Make sure you buy raw. Flax seeds also great to add to smoothies for extra nutrition. Hemp seeds are really high, naturally high in protein. And pepita seeds really high in, hi, you going outside? In iron, pepita seeds, so that's raw pumpkin seeds. For soy products, I know that soy gets a bad rep, but if you would like to see some of the literature on that, ask me or whoever invited you to this wellness reboot. Okay, hold on. We all have our Juice Plus shirts on. Juice Plus Princess, powered by plants. And Kenzie's got Eat Broccoli on. Okay, for soy products, I recommend, so obviously edamame is really great to have. You can buy it like this, or you can buy it pre-shelled. And it's great to add to salads or for extra protein, especially if you're eating more plant-based. Hold on, Kenzie, you want to say hi? I'm doing a video. You want to say hi? What does your shirt say? It says eat broccoli. Also, tempeh is a really great, hold on. Thanks, you're very nifty. Tofu is really great to have. Hey guys, hold on. And then the last thing is, one sec, raise your hand, please. Tempeh is really great. I didn't know about this until I started eating more plant-based, but 20 grams of protein. It's really easy to cook with. Easier than meat, in my opinion. And I like it better than tofu. So yeah, I just cut it in squares and I add it to curries usually, or stir fry. I love it. So that's a really great thing. And it's less processed than tofu. So I hope this helps. Those are my tips for buying non-perishables. I'm sorry about the, hold on, Kenzie, come here. Come here. I'm sorry about my kids in the background. But those are my tips for non-perishables. And yeah, just try to shop local if you can. Wash your produce when you get home. Avoid buying snacky foods. And I hope this is helpful.